Hey, it's Monster, one half of your dynamic hosting duo of the Nerdy Man Room Show. Proudly bringing you another Man Room Short. Enjoy, and as always, please remember, viewer discretion is advised.
I don't really have a great segue, but we were going to talk about G.I. Joe, a real American hero this time around.
Yo, Joe.
Yeah. So we wanted to talk first. I think what we talked about, how we kind of went through with some of the Transformers, we focused mostly on just the toys. This time we wanted to focus on the property of real American hero as a whole. Not necessarily all of G.I. Joe, because G.I. Joe has been around for a long time. We got real American hero starting in, 1982? This is the 40th.
82 is shorts, and the 83 is a start of the series.
Yeah. And this is the 40th anniversary, and that kicked off earlier this in the month of February anyway. And I know we're in March now, but that kicked off just a few weeks ago, and so we wanted to take a chance and talk about that a little bit. So let me start with this, Hassel. What is your let's just start with your take on GI Joe. What was it? What was it about it that pulled you into it, made you interested in it?
Well, for me, I mean, I love the cartoon, and as a kid of the 80s, I probably caught it after it went into syndication versus coming out every how it did to begin with. But I just love the fact that the stories were serious enough to where it didn't insult even a child's intelligence, but at the same time, it was just serious enough to where if you were to go back and watch them now, you can still enjoy them because they don't insult the mom, the dad that's watching it with their kid, or the uncle that's watching them after school or whatever. I mean, you can kind of enjoy it with the kid at the same time. It kind of fed between the two, and it had a serious tone, but it had a moral and a message. It was good. I mean, it wasn't campy or like we'll get into with the second series of it, but I just I really love the tone of the show, so to speak.
Yes, and I would say that's probably true of any of those cartoons from the 80s. While there was cheesy moments and it was outlandish stories, like there's no way you create this pyramid of darkness around the earth, right, and shut off all electronics with that.
You can't really do that.
But there was a serious tone of these are terrorists and they're trying to take over the world and we're going to fight back, just like Transformers. It was an actual civil war, right?
Yeah.
We had some serious points, even though we had some cheesy moments. We had some serious points to what we were talking about and what we were looking at. I really enjoyed the cartoon. I thought it was one of those that was. While I love the other stuff, the Transformers and the superpowers and all the superhero stuff, to me this one was the first one. It was like, oh, these are just regular people who were fighting. So it was a little more. Hey, this is
as over the top as it was. It had a level of realism. Like these are actually men and women fighting for your country.
They don't have They got red and blue lasers, but they ain't got any superpowers. They're not He-Man, the mightiest human on earth, or whatever. They can't. And you actually got now where you never got to see anybody get hurt. Like if a plane was going to crash, they're parachuting out. You always saw the parachute open. But unlike He-Man, where he would punch and you would see him swing the punch, and then you would just see the after effect of everything flying backwards. You actually saw them shoot at each other in this, and I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
And then when they got the battle android troopers on there, you actually got to see them actually destroy those because they were robots. You actually got to see Sergeant Slaughter actually crushing them and beating them down.
I actually rewatched that a few nights ago because I knew we were going to do this, so I highly recommend anyone that doesn't have Tubi, just get it. It's free.
Yeah, and they have
it's on
great
there.
cartoons.
Yeah, it's got a great selection. I started with that Pyramid of Darkness that you were just talking about. Or Rise. It might be Rise to Prince or Rise. I think that's what it was. That was the debut. It had the bats and the debut of Sergeant Slaughter on there, and I mean it was a great. I put it on to go to bed because I was like,
I do the same thing.
I need something to go to bed, and then I found myself an hour later like I got to go to damn sleep because it captivated me still. It was great.
Oh yeah, I've had that problem, but